Every story starts with a problem. Every story starts when there's a challenge, when something goes terribly wrong. And in stories, you see two types of people. One type of person is called the hero. The hero rises to the challenge. The hero tries to overcome the challenge. On the other hand, you have the victim. The victim always needs to be saved. He's always helpless. Always, the victim's mantra is help me, save me, rescue me. The hero is always trying to strive and persevere. In mystery novels, for example, you see detectives that never give up. They keep solving the big puzzles and the little puzzles. They face one setback after another, but they keep going. And through that process, the hero becomes stronger, develops their perseverance. They become a better and stronger and more capable person through their heroic actions. Now, we have heroes and victims in mythology, literature, movies, in real life, and we also all have heroes and victims inside of ourselves. Each of us has an inner hero, and each of us has an inner victim. And our job as parents and educators is to help students be led by their inner heroes and not to fall prey to their inner victims. The inner victim wants you to become a victim. The inner victim always wants you to be hapless because that's his tool of survival. The more helpless the inner victim is, the more help the inner victim gets. And that's how victims work. And we see adult victims who have given into that always need to be helped, that are always incompetent and incapable, that can never seem to get anything together. So how do we encourage students to be led by their inner heroes? At Vohra Method, we use something called active learning. That means we give students challenges to overcome. But within the big challenges, there's also small challenges. For example, a student might be working on a very difficult calculus problem. But while doing that, we notice that the student doesn't know how to add fractions. That's the small challenge, adding fractions. The student faces the small challenges, the small challenge, learns to add fractions, then returns to the big challenge. And there might be other small challenges in the way before they finally overcome that big challenge. It's a lot like a detective story where the detective solves all these small little things on the way to solving the big puzzle. And that's creating that heroic approach. Now, we call that active learning, but we could just as easily call it heroic learning because that's the point of it. The point of that heroic learning, that active learning, is to encourage children to be led by their inner heroes, to constantly persevere, to constantly strive, to constantly overcome, rather than to give in to their inner victim, to be hapless and helpless, always help me, rescue me, save me, all that kind of stuff. Now, parents, you can also help with that process. You can help your student become more, or your child become more heroic, to be led by that hero. And the way to do that is to reinforce these principles. The idea that challenges are good. Frustration is good. Zen monks intentionally try to get stuck. But using things like cones and other challenges, they try to get stuck because by struggling through and overcoming the mental challenge, or by just facing that difficult challenge, they become closer to enlightenment. They develop wisdom through that process. And we do something similar here at Vohra Method, and you can encourage that mindset in your child that says that frustration is good, failure is good, stuckness is good. Those are all parts of heroism. All heroes in every story get stuck, they face setbacks, they face failures. That's the point. That's life. That's what it's supposed to be. Now, every child, as they become an adult, is going to face failures. They're going to face setbacks. And the question that we have to ask is, how do you want them to respond to them? To be helpless and hapless, somebody rescue me, I don't know what to do, help me? Or do you want them to be strong, to be mighty, to be powerful, to learn to overcome those things? Now, overcoming those things in real life is, of course, trickier than overcoming them in academics, but you build that mindset in small ways through academics throughout. And that's what we're going to do here at Vohra Method. At Vohra Method, with your help, we are going to help your child be led by his inner hero, not give in to that inner victim.